You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Shahs of Sunset After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Shahs of Sunset After Show.
Little Lady Gaga to start our night tonight. Hello, fans of Shahs of Sunset, fans of AfterBuzz TV. Tonight we're going to be talking about Season 3, Episode 8, Caught in a Bad Bro-Mance. My name is Lyndsey Wegner, and I am joined tonight by the lovely...
Hi, everybody. It's Michelle Renee.
How you guys doing? Let's jump right in and talk about Reza and Adam's housewarming party tonight. We see them shopping. It looks like the Beverly Center. I'm not sure if it was or not, but it looks like the Beverly Center.
Well, I don't think it was because then he
said the Valley.
Yeah, the Valley. Because at first I thought it was the Bev Center as well, but then
maybe it was the Sherman Oaks Galleria.
Maybe.
I'm just trying to think where
I've never seen a
exactly. I'm trying to figure out.
I've never seen a caviar machine like anywhere.
Exactly. I don't know where they found that.
And then it said Beverly Hills Caviar, so like on the
I think so.
I'm not really looking for it either, though, when I go there, because I can't afford it. So maybe that's why I've missed it. Yeah,
$3,500 for a tin of caviar.
Is that the normal asking price? Or?
I don't know. Have you ever eaten caviar?
I don't think so.
I feel like I've been at a party in the hills and tried it, and I think I hated it, and I was like, I'm not going to say anything because I know it's like so expensive. That's like having Dom Perignon, and I'm like, I don't mind it. Like I'll take the cheap stuff. It doesn't really matter to me. I can't really taste the difference. My palate apparently isn't that sensitive to the fanciness of $3,500 tin of caviar that Adam and Reza are shopping for and paying with cash.
With cash.
Because they carry thousands and thousands.
That made me kind of think it was staged. I mean, I get carrying cash, but that much is insane. So I don't know.
I guess too,
it was a little contrived to me.
If they're planning a party, I suppose carrying cash around with you is. I mean, if they were shopping that day for the party, but that was an extensive. That was like a bank.
Yeah. Of
cash with Reza. But we see that they're going to be throwing this housewarming party. The whole time I'm actually wondering if Sasha was going to be there or not, or if Reza's going to invite Sasha. What's going to happen with that? And.
Well, we see later in the episode that it's more of an intimate housewarming.
He's got specific reasons why he's invited everybody. He doesn't want anybody immature there. He wants it to just be close friends, good people around. And so the next we see of Reza is him sitting down for coffee, ready to talk to Sasha. What did you think was going to happen?
Well, I mean, I think I predicted like last week that the apology wasn't going to go well, which shame on me because it went very nicely. And they seem to have made up, and Reza does this whole like coming of age. I don't know, that's not the right expression, but he, just kind of all of a sudden sees the wrong in his previous ways and says that he's realized now where the anger was coming from and, something along those lines.
He's coming to terms with the past.
Yeah, Sasha embodies the same, I don't know. I didn't write something down right.
Well, I was
giving myself the acceptance I wanted as a little kid,
which is what he was looking for. He sees it through Sasha. I thought it was interesting that Sasha said, I didn't come here for your apology. I came here to find out why you are the way that you are and what had happened if you were worried that I was flirting with Adam or something. And Reza was like, no, that wasn't what I was worried about at all. It was these issues I had. And Sasha making the joke that I wasn't allowed to wear tank tops for 25 years. So I'm going to wear as many tank tops as I can right now. But it seems like they definitely were able to move past it. And Reza, obviously, from a few episodes ago, seems like he's in just a better, more emotional, more open place and not so angry.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I buy it, just because I think that if you have such deep-rooted issues, you know, that are making you act out, I think more than 1 or 2 therapy sessions, and I mean, maybe there were more that we saw off camera, but I think it's going to take a little bit more than a few therapy sessions and like this whole breakout at the club or whatever. Like, I think that he has probably realized that he was wrong, and he's probably, you know, better dealing with where the issues are coming from, but I don't know. I just don't believe that he's a completely changed man.
Oh, I don't believe so either. I think that we're going to see anger coming out of him later on in the season at somebody. And even when we get to the party and everyone starts arriving and eating and stuff, and he says the common denominator is people got in the way of his relationship with MJ. So Mike, Gigi, and Lily. And when those friendships aren't around, his and MJ's relationship flourishes and is better. But I almost feel like that could be kind of fake, because I feel like maybe it's better right now, but I feel like there's even something with that, like something's going to go wrong.
Yeah. I mean, what does it say to MJ that he's essentially saying, if these people were in my life, I wouldn't be as close to you? It kind of reminds me of the whole thing with MJ and Gigi, where now that MJ has Reza back, she's not as close to Gigi anymore. So is he essentially saying that if he had Lily still to hang out with, or Mike, or, you know...
And Mike, at the end of the day, is a good person, so I can't see his relationship with Mike holding back his relationship with MJ. But I suppose because they are business partners, and MJ and Reza had the office together, and Mike has now occupied that part of the office, at least temporarily, maybe that's where he feels like Mike is putting a block between him and MJ. But I feel like Mike is such a peacekeeper between everyone. He can't really be a negative factor on that. And he said the common denominator between all of them is that they're immature. And I can't necessarily say that Mike is immature, and I can't really say that Lily is immature. I completely agree with that when it comes down to Gigi. I think she makes rash decisions and stuff, and that's somebody that's immature and not thinking things through. But I don't think that Lily or Mike are immature, but that would keep Reza from being able to continue a relationship with MJ.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that he also hasn't changed, just because he like mentions that he's not gonna, that he hasn't forgiven Mike, or that he doesn't want to hang out with Mike, or whatever he's talking trash about Mike. And someone asked, like, oh, is this coming from the whole incident at the club? And he's like, yes, it is. So how does he apologize to Sasha and like admit that he was wrong at the club, but then he's still harboring some hard feelings towards Mike for what happened at the club? Shouldn't he realize then and apologize to Mike for his actions if he apologized to Sasha for his actions at the club?
I think there's more to it than what we're seeing, because Reza came out at that party and said that Mike has no deals and that he's lazy. And I mean, we're not really seeing the business side really for either of them. I mean, we haven't seen anything since Reza had somebody come in earlier, and we haven't seen anything since Mike put the billboard on the bus. Yeah. So we don't know how either of them how their work ethic is. But obviously Reza's living a life where he can afford to buy $3,500 caviar, so something's going right. And if Mike hasn't brought deals to the table, why would Reza share his insider, perhaps, with Mike? Tips, tricks, career advice, of course, but he's not going to hand you deals.
Well, I know that Mike used to work in commercial real estate, maybe, and Reza does more of residential. So, I mean, maybe that's the issue there, that he can't bring in as many clients because
doesn't have those contacts.
He doesn't have those contacts. And I mean, from what I see on the show, it feels like Mike thinks that Reza should have taken him under his wing and taught him how to do commercial real estate, and instead Reza is just assuming that he should already know how to do it, and so Mike's unable to make the deals.
I feel like there just needs to be an open line of communication between the two of them, and then there won't be this issue.
Yeah.
Mike needs to say, I want you to help me and teach me what I need to know. I don't expect you to hand me over clients. And Reza needs to be open to that, because if that's, I mean, he gave Mike that, offered him that position last year. So he's got to be willing to train him in. And that's what you have to do in any job. So I feel bad for their relationship, and I liked both Asa and MJ pushing Reza to call Mike so that they can have a conversation, but it doesn't look like that conversation is going to go well, according to the next
episode.
Whenever that is. So,
well, guys, head over to iTunes and tell us what you think of Mike and Reza's relationship. Do you think they're going to make up, or do you think they're going to be feuding for the rest of the season? You can rate and comment on our after show. Leave us any questions, comments, or point out anything that we may have missed in this episode or past episodes.
All right, so let's move on then to Mike. And we see Mike at the beginning of the episode, and he's doing a little shopping.
Yeah, window shopping.
Window. He's certainly not buying right now.
Yeah.
He's mad at Reza for not getting any money in. So you're a girl, I'm a girl. We've obviously looked at engagement rings. I've looked at engevent rings at some. I've window shopped myself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have a boyfriend, and you guys are maybe thinking about getting married or eventually. So,
maybe someday down the road.
Okay, no, yes. I mean, I've looked at them, but not like seriously. So as someone that has a boyfriend, like, did you look at them like seriously and like were showing them to him, or it was just kind of
I mean, I remember in college going with my roommates and all of us going, okay, this is the one that we would like, and this is what we would pick out at the time. And then, every once in a while people have Pinterest nowadays, so they're posting rings, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty, and then I've walked through. Nothing seriously, oh, well, let's actually look at rings here and look at a price line, nothing like that. But all of us have looked at rings at some point, and I remember when I was 21, I thought I had found the most beautiful, amazing ring, and I was like, I think it was like $6,000 or $7,000, and I was like, that seems reasonable, like for a ring. And what's the quote that they say? What is it? 2 months salary?
It's 3 months salary.
3 months salary.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Someone said that. I was speaking with a guy about it, and not because I was going to marry him or anything, but I was just discussing it with a guy friend of mine, and I told him that, like, oh, well, it's supposed to be 3 months salary, right? And he said, no, I don't think that's true anymore. I think that was more so kind of the rule back in the day when people didn't make as much money, because now that people are making more money, like 3 months worth of salary, especially depending on what your career is, could be like a lot of money.
Yeah. And I don't want something big and ostentatious. I don't think it would look right anyway. So I'm not looking for like some $30,000 ring.
Yeah.
Just something nice and pretty.
I mean, I totally agree with Mike. Like, I think he needs to get her the biggest, baddest ring ever. Like, if they lived in middle America, then that's fine. Get her a nice little diamond. But I mean, you kind of have to. Yeah, she lives in Beverly Hills. And it's a reflection of him as a man. And I think that, especially in the Persian culture, it's all about like how you are as a provider for your family. So I think that he's very much thinking like, the ring that I get her is going to be an example to the world of how well I'm going to be able to take care of her and my future family. And I kind of agree. Like, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. So don't come with a small ring in Beverly Hills.
I see that, and that was their culture. He said, this is a reflection of me, so it has to be. And he said, what did they say in Beverly Hills? That the average price for an engagement ring is $45,000. That is a nice car. That's crazy and ridiculous to me to think of spending $45,000 on a ring. Now, if you're a plastic surgeon that's making $2 million a year, $45,000 means nothing to you.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But even they say the average household income in Los Angeles, I think is $50,000, $60,000.
Well, in Los Angeles, but what is it in Beverly Hills?
Yeah, I suppose. But even Mike was saying that $30,000 minimum for a Persian girl to get a ring and $100,000 for the engagement party. That's what they expect to pay. And this girl's an LA girl, so this is what she's going to want. Now, I can't see Jessica saying no to Mike because he doesn't hand her some $30,000 ring. I don't see her being like that. Do you?
No, I don't see her saying no if the ring is not up to par, but I also could see her being disappointed if the ring isn't what she expects. I mean, it's not like this guy is some poor, Joe Schmo down the street. He wears nice clothes. I'm assuming, drives a nice car from what we've seen on the show. Mm-hmm. She wears Christian Louboutin shoes, which are like $1,000 a pair. That leather dress she had on last season. But did he give the price of that?
I can't remember.
And it's just like,
they have money.
It would be a downgrade for them to for him to get her anything less than what they already expect. If they already were living like a normal middle-class American life, then, like I said, I would think it would be fine for him to get her a ring that was, you know, what, $10,000 maybe. But I mean, at this point, when they've already created this lifestyle, you know,
higher, I guess then there's the higher standards for it all. So we see him shopping. He doesn't buy anything, but he's looking. I was hoping that this season we'd see them move forward in their relationship. So I'm glad to see that he's thinking about that, and I think that they're a great pair together. Yeah, especially last episode with how cute they were at is it Jewish classes? Religion, I don't know what they call it, if it would be called religion classes or what, but seeing them, and even the practicing of getting married and stuff was just cute and adorable, and it looks like their relationship is really strong, and
I mean, it did kind of throw me off whenever he was at the party at the end of the episode with his friends, and he seemed a little jealous of their lifestyle, like they're high rollers, and not only the money part, but it seemed like he was placing a little bit of emphasis on the fact that they get all these cute, hot girls and that they're living the life, you know, being able to have women at their disposal and blow money on these women and pay rent for these women. So I'm like, I mean, what's going on here? Like, I mean, I'm sure he loves Jessica and is in love with her madly and wants to spend the rest of his life with her, but I don't think he should, you know.
Well, he calls out the one guy for saying something like, "You don't need a girl," and he's like, "No, you stop that jaded, you know, talk. A girl can complete your life," or what? I can't remember exactly what he had said at that moment. And I think he's definitely jealous of them. We see obviously this issue in this episode is the money for him. It's buying the ring, it's being able to provide, and he wants to be able to do this, and now he's going to have to wait because he's not at a place in his life where he can afford to do it, and he's mad at Reza for not, you know, being in the place to do that. So he's pushing blame to somebody else, where then, you know what, take the balls and go with it and do it on your own and get it done. But he definitely seems very jealous of their lifestyle and the money. I don't think he didn't seem jealous of the girls. And I know some of the guys were talking about going to Vegas, and he's like, yeah, let me know when. And I can see him being completely open and honest with Jessica, being like, this is what we're doing in Vegas, and calling and keeping in contact and making her completely comfortable with it. But I don't think that I think those guys are bad influences.
Yeah. I mean, if he had more money though, how would he? Because, I mean, obviously it's easy for him now to be like, I'm a one-woman man. But if he had as much money as some of those other guys, would he be? I mean, I'm not trying to say that he's a cheater because I don't think he is. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Sure.
Because he seemed to be placing emphasis on the fact that they have this lifestyle because they have so much money. So does that mean then that he has the lifestyle he has because he doesn't have as much money?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I don't know how he would react to that. But maybe we'll find out later on if he keeps winning these poker games or whatnot. So, all right, let's go on. Let's move on to Gigi this episode. No Lily. I'm sad. But we did get Gigi, and we did get an honest Gigi, which I like seeing too. Her and Asa going and doing Tai Chi in the park was a nice moment for them, considering last year we saw her pushing Asa and being so violent. So this is definitely a good thing for her to be doing, to be open, and the hook or whatever she's supposed to do.
Have you ever done Tai Chi?
I've never done Tai Chi, but it looked more difficult than I've done yoga. And I know yoga can sometimes kick your butt, and Tai Chi looked even more difficult.
It looked so boring to me.
It looked boring, but it looked...
I'm like, do you get a good workout after that? Like, if I'm going to work out and spend like an hour and a half of my time, I want to be like sweating profusely. I want to be short of breath.
No, you burn calories.
You know, and that, I know it's a good workout, like yoga and all that, Pilates and stuff, but I just need to feel it. I need to feel the burn right away.
I think the point of this with Asa was more of an open-mindedness, and the Tai Chi is coming to breath and all that, like yoga is. So I think that was
opening her chakras.
Yeah,
I'm like, here she goes. I can't go with it.
I think that was the main focus, more of than a workout, just the opening up and being a foundation for honesty, which brings us to the conversation at dinner at Beso with Sean and Gigi.
Which I just would like to make a comment. I was just watching Vanderpump Rules, and two of their characters or castmates went to dinner at Beso as well.
Really?
So I'm like, did they have some kind of agreement with Bravo.
Well, Basil's been doing Groupons on Groupon or Life Booker. They've had deals for it, so maybe they're trying to get business in there and build up the business and clientele, putting
The show
celebrities on the show. It's Ava Longoria's restaurant.
Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting because, like, literally in the episode that came on yesterday of Vanderpump Rules, Jax took some girl there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So it's like...
Yeah, they've been pushing... interesting. Bravo. So Gigi and Sean, total tension and awkwardness between them, and Gigi's drinking up a storm, which I feel like that... I don't know, when you have to talk to somebody about something and it's important, I would never do it at dinner. Not out at a restaurant.
Not with cameras on either, but I mean, I guess that's kind of...
They have to?
Yeah, like...
But I would just never do it in a restaurant. I wouldn't... I always feel bad when I see couples arguing and a server has to take care of them because, or I've been the server or bartender, and you see a couple fighting. It's so awkward. I remember when I was working somewhere one time, the couple was signing divorce papers. And they were fighting, and he would talk to me, and then she would talk to me, and I'm sitting there going, I don't know who I'm supposed to, like, listen to or what I'm supposed to do. The whole thing was just horribly awkward. And so first off, you have that, and then just getting into something that's a deep conversation. Why would you want to do it at dinner? What if it goes bad?
But where is there ever a good time, like, to tell someone you cheated on them?
There's never a good time, but I would do it in the privacy of my home. Maybe with a bottle of wine.
Yeah. And did they drive together? Because the ride home is awkward as hell.
If they drive together and then they're ordering, she's ordering shots and stuff, and if I was her, I'd be like, you can pay for your own meal.
Yeah.
But he's obviously going to be a classy guy, more than likely, and take care of things. But, typical dude that would, like, a typical guy, if their girlfriend had cheated on them and had said all this stuff, I would have no qualms if he was like, I'm not paying for your dinner. I'm not paying for this. Like, you're ridiculous if you think that I'm going to take care of this after what you just did. And her coming clean about Cheyenne, did you suspect that they were still talking?
Yeah. I actually hadn't thought about it, but just based off some of the things she says about men, she doesn't seem very committed. I know that she has a boyfriend, but she's even said, like, you always have to keep one on the back burner. And like I've said, I agree with that. Until you're married or, like, in a serious committed relationship, then, you have to always have a plan B or maybe a plan C, and especially because of her and Sean's relationship is so tumultuous and they're on again, off again. And when you do the whole on again, off again thing, I think there's a lot of room. There's, like, a large margin of error because who's to say, like, one person might be confused. Oh, we were back together this day, but, like, we weren't together that day. And didn't she even say that her and Sean were off whenever he kissed Cheyenne? So, I don't know. I didn't expect him to break up with her. That part did shock me. Like, did it shock you, or you saw it coming?
After what she had said and the fact that she points out that he texts her every day. No boy texts a girl every single day like that, multiple times in a day. How long ago did this happen? At the beginning of the season. So we're talking a couple months, maybe at least a month. So for 1 month, he's texting her every single day. She's got to be meeting up with him. She's got to be hanging out with him. No guy's going to keep doing that for a month and not have any sort of reward. And whether it's going to coffee or going to lunch or something like that, I'm not saying that she's doing anything with him. But no guy is going to keep texting somebody multiple times in a day, every single day, with no response.
Yeah.
Because he's either going to get the picture and say, oh, she's not interested. But then when Sean asks, well, let me see your texts. And she goes, no, it won't make sense, or you won't understand the point.
Yeah. I think where she screwed herself over is not fully committing to either the lie or the truth. She should have just been like, okay, I kissed him, we talk every day, and here goes the text. Or she should just be like, yeah, I kissed him, and then whenever he said, oh, do you guys talk, maybe that's when she should have lied and be like, no, we don't, if she didn't want to show him the text. Because then it's like, okay, well, you admit that you guys talk, or that he texts you at least, but you don't want to show me the text, so that makes you look guilty and like a liar. So,
well, and if you're interested in the relationship with Sean, which is what it seemed like especially with last week and her bringing Sean around MJ and him insulting MJ last week and how horrible he feels about that this week, the fact that he insulted MJ and yelled at her and thought that she was, the one lying this whole time. And now that it's Gigi doing this, if she really wanted to be with Sean, then say, yes, Sean and I have been talking, but it ends now. I want to be with you. If you want to be with me, I will end that relationship right now.
Yeah.
And I think if she would have said that, he may have been more open to saying, okay, we're not on a break. We are in a relationship. I need you to be honest with me. Please don't talk to this person anymore. It's obviously not beneficial to our relationship. And if you can do that, then let's build trust back. But I don't think she was open to that anyway. She makes it seem like at the end of the day, she really wasn't that interested in a relationship with him. Committing.
Yeah. Well, she has a new boyfriend now, right? So.
Yeah, she's got some new boyfriend now, so obviously it didn't last long. But I feel bad for him and finding out and having to find out with cameras around.
Yeah.
He, for the most part, remained pretty calm and collected. I'll give him that.
I think it was more so an ego thing also, because if they would have been at home and the cameras weren't rolling, I could see him forgiving her more easily than he did, because obviously he has to maintain his masculinity and
I wonder if they still dated even after this.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did.
And that wasn't the complete end of it.
That wasn't the off again. I'm sure they were on again.
Yeah.
At some point.
So interesting. All right. So do you have any news and gossip?
I don't. Do you have any?
I found something.
AfterBuzz TV News.
I found something on InsideTV.com, and they have an Entertainment Weekly section. And Asa had told Entertainment Weekly, I absolutely love season 3. This season is so real, and it gets more real and raw as we go on. And for me personally, a couple of extremely life-changing things happened for me. And she said, number one, launching Diamond Water. She said if she's going to create something, she wants to create something to better the world. Sounds like that's what her, her chakras and all of her stuff, that's her focus. And number 2 was her first art show. And number 3 was the cast trip to Turkey, where she reunited with members of her family for the first time in over 30 years, which is crazy. And she says right now she's in the best place in her life. So I thought that was a nice, positive reinforcement. And I guess we're going to see a lot more craziness and realness as we come up. Do you have any predictions? I don't think we're back next week.
You're AfterBuzz TV.
But in a couple weeks, what do you think is going to happen?
I predict a really big disagreement between Mike and Reza. That was a really good prediction. No, but
so I guess we saw a little bit of MJ. And apparently some homemade sex videos she has. So I think that'll be a little comedy instilled in the midst of Reza and Mike's blow up, because I think it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing a little bit more of Lily.
Yeah, and I think that people are going to have to kind of choose sides a little bit. I think it's going to put the other castmates in an awkward position.
I think so too. Where can they find you, Michelle?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Michelle Renee LA.
And you guys can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Lyndsey Wegner, LYNDSEYWEGNER, and my blog, lyndseywegner.blogspot.com. That's all we have for you guys today. Thanks for watching our Shahs of Sunset after show, and we'll see you soon. Happy holidays.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.